Hey guys, welcome back to the Knitting Expat podcast channel. My name is Mina and I am coming to you today just with a little chatty video. This isn't specifically a podcast, there are not going to be any show notes. This is just me sitting down, having a little chat and catching up with you guys. I haven't done a vlog this week. I normally alternate between a podcast week and a vlogging week, and I just haven't had a chance to vlog this week. It's been a bit busy. Like I've mentioned in the last podcast, I just didn't really have I haven't really felt the desire to vlog recently, and part of that's to do with living at home with my parents right now. We're in London, and it's just a bit awkward. My dad works from home, so he's home a lot. My brother has is sort of self-manages his time a lot for his work, so he's home frequently as well, which is great having them around and having a couple of extra hands to keep an eye on Layla occasionally when I need 10 minutes here and there. It's been great, but it just makes it more awkward for me to vlog when I'm at home because I'm just really self-conscious with that sort of thing still. Ironically, it's fine if I'm out and about on my own with Layla, I can do that sometimes, but I find it awkward doing it at home, so I found that I just wasn't picking up the camera as much and things like that. So I thought this week, since I'm not doing a vlog, but I still want to catch up with you guys, and some things have happened that I want to talk about, and didn't want to leave it until next week because lately it's been harder and harder for me to schedule in when I can do a podcast. And I was sitting down and I filmed a couple of videos today already during Layla's lunch nap, and she's still sleeping, so I'm gonna, like I said, just sit and have a chat with you guys. So if you're new, like I said, this isn't my standard sort of podcasting format. I have no notes, so I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants right now, and so apologies if this podcast or this episode, this video, I'm not even sure what I'm going to call it, is a bit disjointed, but like I said, I wanted to have a little catch up. I had some beautiful things come in the post, and I just wanted to talk a bit about a couple of the projects that I'm working on right now, and yeah, just catch up a little bit with what's been going on. So starting with catching up, I guess. Actually, before I jump into that, if you want to find me online, you can find me as Knitting Expat on Instagram, Mina Phillip on Ravelry, and we have a podcast group on Ravelry, Knitting Expat Podcast, in the groups tab, and you can find show notes for all my past episodes at knittingexpat.wordpress.com. I do post episode threads on the Ravelry group for each episode. I'm not sure if I will do for this one, probably will do. I'm not sure if I'm going to call this an episode or not. This is just going to be just a chatty video, really. No show notes, like I said, and to be honest, the knitting projects I have to show you are my own designs anyway, so there's nothing to link to or anything like that. I will try and give you all the information I can, and if I do miss anything, then, or you just didn't understand something I said, then just ask me a question in the comments below or on Ravelry, and I will let you know. So yeah, jumping right in. So with what's been going on this last weekend since our last podcast, can't remember when I did the podcast, I think it was middle of last week, but so last weekend was my brother's birthday on Saturday, and Sunday was Mother's Day, so we had a really lovely sort of family filled weekend doing stuff as a family. We went out for my brother's birthday, we went out for like a late lunch, early dinner sort of thing. We went out for food at like 3 p.m, so it was a really weird time, and honestly it was hilarious. It was so funny from the get-go. So my dad and my mum took the underground to meet us at the restaurant, because at the moment we only have the one car, so we can maximum fit 4 or 5 people in it with Layla in her car seat. So myself, Perry and Layla and my brother took the car, and my dad and my mum took the train. And so we get there, we get to the restaurant, and my mum said, you know, they're just walking from the station, so they got there around the same sort of time. Anyway, then I got a frantic phone call from my mum just as we were parking up, saying that she's lost my dad. So a bit of backstory, my mum left her phone at home, so we took it with us to give it to her when we saw her at the restaurant. And so she called me in a bit of a panic because she'd lost my dad walking from the station to the restaurant, and she was somewhere between the station and the restaurant. Bear in mind, the station was like maybe not even 10 minutes away by foot. So she was like, I was using Google Maps to like find the restaurant and make sure we were going the right way, and then I turned around and your dad's gone. He's not there. And I was like, great, okay. So my mum's got my dad's phone using the map, so my dad has no phone on him, so we have no way of calling him to find out where he is. And my mum was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back and see if I can find him. And and she was like, you guys just start without us. And I was like, okay, fine. Relaying this information to my brother, and so myself, Perry and Layla went into the restaurant, and my brother went to see if he could like find my mum or figure something out. Anyway, whilst we're sat there, we're waiting to see what's going on, I get a phone call from a number that I don't recognise on my phone. So I answer the phone, thinking, I was expecting a couple of phone calls from like different places, so I didn't know who it was. I thought it might be one of those. I answer the phone and it's my dad. He's gone into a shop on the street somewhere and asked to borrow someone's phone, and my number was the only number he could remember, so he called me and to tell me what was happening. And he wasn't that far away actually, and he was like, don't worry, I'm making my way. And at this point my mum had already gotten back on the train to head back home because she thought my dad would come back home if he couldn't find her. Honestly, you can't make this stuff up. And then so then I'm trying to call my brother. I finally get through to my brother, and he's just like in a bit of a panic trying to find my dad. And I was like, no, just wait a second, just listen to the words that I'm trying to tell you. He called me, he's okay, he's here, you can go pick him up. And so then he was a bit relieved. Then I had to call my mum to tell her to turn around and come back, and it was all fine in the end. Like, not even 10 minutes later everyone was back at the restaurant. The whole thing probably took about 20 minutes, but it was just really funny in hindsight looking back on it. And I was like, what did people do without mobile phones? Like, all of this happened just because my mum left her phone at home, and it was just craziness really. So funny story to start with. Then Sunday was Mother's Day. It was a really lovely day, and I was woken up, obviously not woken up, we were woken up by Layla, but I was greeted in the morning. Perry went to get her, and he'd gotten her all dressed up, and they came into the room to give me my present. And yeah, so they were all dressed up with little berets, and Layla had a garlic lei for some reason around her neck and a little bandana thingy. So we're going to Paris in a couple of weeks, which is really, really lovely. I'm so excited about that. So that was my Mother's Day gift, was a family trip to Paris, which is something we'd been talking about doing for a while now anyway. So we're going to go Easter weekend. It's a nice long 4-day weekend in the UK, so Perry has a couple of days off. And yeah, so we're going to hop on the Eurostar and go to Paris for a few days, which is going to be so, so lovely. It's the last time we went to Paris, Perry and I got engaged, so it's been a while now. We were in Paris in July of 2011 was the last time we were there, so almost 7 years ago till when we go back. So that'll be so sweet. It'll be so lovely to go back and to take Layla with us, and to, even though she's not going to remember it, it's just going to be really fun. And we've been jokingly referring to her as Le Nugget instead of The Nugget. It's a bit of a joke actually from before she was even born, when I was pregnant. At one point when we were trying to figure out where we were going to be moving to, if you're not a long time viewer of the podcast, when I was pregnant with Layla, my baby, or our baby, Perry had actually left his job, and when we were figuring out where we were going to move to, we were living in Bahrain at the time, and he was considering different job opportunities and seeing where we were going to move to. And at one point we considered moving to Paris. There was a job opportunity potentially that would have worked out well for us. It didn't work out in the end, which was fine. Not the end of the world, honestly. And I did think it was a little bit of a stretch. I didn't think it would pan out, but for a couple of weeks we were entertaining the idea of moving to Paris and raising a little Parisian baby. So we were nicknaming her Le Nugget, because I referred to her as the Nugget when she was in utero, essentially. So it's just been a bit of a joke. And but yeah, so we're really looking forward to it, and Layla already has her little red beret to wear to Paris. And yeah, so that's going to be really fun. That's something I'm looking forward to. And yes, I definitely will be going to La Bien-Aimée. And yeah, so I will probably vlog that trip as well, at least a little bit, to share with you guys. But yeah, that's it generally for news this week. Like I said, we've been really busy. I've been taking Layla out every day now. Actually, this week the weather's been pretty good. Monday was miserable, but I took her to soft play in the morning with my mum. My mum didn't go to work on Monday. And then yesterday morning I took her out to the park, like the park you can see from out the window here. It's quite a big park actually, and there is you can't see it from here, but back that way there's a small sort of like children's playground as well, with like climbing jip frames and swings and stuff like that. So I've taken her there a few times, and we went there yesterday, and I took her walker with us as well. So she loved pushing that around and being able to get around and stuff. And she's just starting to master the there's this like little climbing frame thing with the slide on it, and there's like little bridges that she can walk across. And if I remember, I will stick some footage of that in here for you guys. Yeah, so that was really sweet, and she's finally starting to like master that a little bit. And yeah, so we came home, we had a nice afternoon at home, and then again this morning I took her out to another park, to another playground, to try out the weather. Like I said earlier, I don't know, actually wasn't on this video, different video. The weather today has been really, really nice. It's been a little bit cold and a little bit windy, but it's been sunny this morning, so I took her out again. And we went and explored a different playground this time, and again took the walker with us, as she was like running around everywhere, which was really adorable. And yeah, again, if I remember, I will put some footage in here for you guys. And the other thing I did today was go to the post office to pick up a package, because when we were at the park yesterday, the postman came by and they couldn't deliver the package because it was too big for the mailbox or the envelope slot thingy. Anyway, it was yarn, and I was expecting this package, and I was so excited when it arrived, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So the yarn is from Nicole of Hula Co, and I absolutely love Nicole. Nicole and I have connected a couple of years ago now, and we've been, I'm not going to say like too close, but we've been close enough. I consider her a good friend, and we met for the first time at Rhinebeck last year, so that was so lovely. And yes, it was just so lovely to see her. She has a daughter who is a few months older than Layla as well, so it was really nice. We've connected a lot over that. And yeah, so she was providing yarn support for one of the sock club patterns. It's actually going to be the last pattern in the cozy collection. So the yarn finally arrived. Nicole's had a busy few months, so it was fine, and I was in no rush. So this last pattern actually for the cozy collection is gonna be based on the idea of using mini skeins for socks. And originally I was like, oh, just 5 20-gram minis, because most mini skein packs, when people purchase mini skeins, come in sets of 5s. So I thought that's like the most manageable for people, I think, in terms of organising for yarn. But turns out Nicole couldn't decide, so she sent me 11 mini skeins. She sent me a bajillion. She was like, here, you pick the ones you want. Loads and loads of minis to choose from. They are all stunning, as is most of Nicole's yarn. I'm going to quickly run through them. They are all on her 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend, and so that's her merino spun sock base. Okay, so I'm going to run through these pretty quickly, the names of them. So we've got Master of Disaster. If I can get that to show up properly. Master of Disaster. Then we have Pond Life. So these are all 20 gram, 80 yard mini skeins. Then we have, I think this one's pronounced Ohana. And we have Makalo, is that right? M-A-K-A-L-O, Makalo. Then we have a Fig, which is a really beautiful neutral. And then we have Muscle Up Buttercup, which is really bright, beautiful yellow. Then we have Oak, which is another favourite of mine, of hers, of her colourways. A bit more colour in that bit there. Then we have Confetti Cake, which I also really love. Sorry, my lighting's a bit funny today. And then we have Sneaky Wombat. I love that name. Okay. And we have Unicorn Hideout, which is stunning. Love all the colours in that one. And then we have Sidewalk Sing Along, which again is a really lovely lighter colourway. There we go. So those are the mini skeins that she sent me. And now I'm not sure if I want to do what I originally planned as 5 mini skeins, 5 colours, or use all of them, because they're all beautiful. So we will see where I end up on that decision-making train. Ooh, dropped one. And on top of that, Nicole was so sweet, and she sent me some extras to play with as well. So these are the extras she sent, which is far too generous. I actually feel like this might be a little bit crazy, but I feel like that would actually go well together as like some sort of fade thingy. I'm not sure that's what I will do with it though. But these are all on her opal sock base, which is a 50-50 silk and superwash merino. So they all have this beautiful silk sheen to them, which is absolutely stunning. So this one is, oh, this is Mahalo. Sorry, it's not Makalo, Mahalo. So this is a full skein of that mini, of one of the minis that she sent, but on the silk base, obviously silk merino base. So it's mainly like this golden light yellow with hints of pink and orange and greens and some darker speckles in there. Really beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. And then we have Ohana, which is another one that she'd sent a mini skein of. Bright pops of neon yellow, pinks and purples, and this lovely sort of cool blues and greens at the bottom. And then we've got Wild at Heart, which is just beautiful purples, pinks and greens and blues, and sort of like a sort of slightly darker grey undertone or grey base for this one. Get that to even show up. There we go. It's just beautiful. So I think what I might do is I might use some of this for giveaways. I'm not entirely sure, but we will see where we end up with those as well. In terms of what I've been knitting, I finished the socks for my brother for his birthday, which were the self-striping green socks out of the foliage colourway from Dubai Knits. I don't have those to show you because I've already gifted them to him for his birthday and he's already worn them, so they are much loved already, which is great. I've been working on these socks, this pair of socks for my mum. There's no particular pattern, I've sort of just made this up. I'm not sure if I will write up the pattern for this or not, but I will see how I feel, I guess. It's a very simple sort of pattern really, and I love the sort of ripple texture it gives to it. It is cables, but you can easily do it without a cable needle, which is how I've been knitting these. And I've turned the heel on both of them, so I'm just working on the foot for these. This one, it was only when I was working the heel that I realised I was a stitch short. For some reason I cast on 64 stitches, so I should have 32 on each side. And as I was working the heel, I realised I only had 31 stitches on the back of the sock on the heel side. And then when I looked, I realised I dropped a stitch down at the side points somewhere back here. It just sort of hung around. So I popped a stitch marker in, and I will fix that at the end. I'll just use some spare yarn to tie that off on the inside and secure it. So that's where I'm at with that. The yarn for this is Lolo Did It. It's on her Lolo's favourite base, which is her superwash cashmere and superwash merino cashmere and nylon base. I think it's an 80-10-10. Super soft, and it's got this lovely sort of cashmere halo to it. I don't know if you can see that up here. It's got this beautiful little like fuzzy halo to it. And these are my mum's Mother's Day socks, which are a bit of an IOU because I didn't get them finished. I didn't start them in time, to be honest, because I wasn't planning on making her socks, considering how many socks she already has. But then she said that she wanted another pair of yellow socks, so I decided, okay, I already have this yarn caked up. I'd used it as contrasting colours at cuffs, heels and toes for one of my sock designs from the sock club, so it was really caked up and ready to go. So I did it. I'd only used about 20 grams of it for the cuffs, heels and toes on the other socks, so I had 80 grams left, and I rarely use more than 75 grams for a pair of socks anyway, so I'm just doing a normal pair of socks out of the leftovers. And yeah, so that will use up most of that skein, which is great. That's that project. That's kind of like my on the go project right now, because the only other knitting I'm working on is in this bag by Thimble and Thread Make. I talked about this on the podcast last month, I guess now. It's got all my pins on it. And I'm working on a new garment design, which is really exciting. First of all, I'll show you the yarn. The yarn is by Lavender Mountain Yarns, and it's this beautiful sort of mauvey, mauve, purple colourway, and it's called Mauve Right Along, or Mauve Right Along is the colourway name. It is an 80-10-10 superwash cashmere merino, superwash merino cashmere nylon. Working with all the MCM these days, which is I'm not complaining about. It is beautiful, and this yarn is absolutely stunning. Yeah, beautiful. And this is how it's knitting up so far. Let's see, where am I at? I'm alternating skein, so I've got 2 balls of yarn attached at the moment. I just don't want to make a mess. It looks tiny because it's on small circulars, but it will be pretty big and oversized. And this is what the front is currently looking like. I can get it to show up properly. Jeez, it's gone dark all of a sudden. Okay, trying to do this without dropping stitches. There we go. Get this. It looks like a bit of a mess right now because it's not blocked, but there's some twisted stitches, there's some cable action going on, and there's some lace. It's basically a combination of all of my favourite things. Some twisted stitches, some lace and some cables. And currently my work in progress title for this pullover is the Twisted Cables Lace Twisted Cables and Lace Pullover or something like that. Not very imaginative right now, but it does start with this lovely sort of 1x1 twisted rib which just flows into the pattern beautifully. And the back is just going to be in stockinette to give you a bit of a break each round, because every round of this is patterned in some way. So you do get some sort of rest rows where it's essentially knit the knits, purl the pearls kind of instructions, but you know, you do have to pay attention pretty much on every row for this, for the front. So the back is in stockinette to, like I said, give you a bit of a break. I'm really loving how this is working up so far. I'm just over 1 full repeat into the pattern, so the pattern does have a long repeat in it, but fun. Really enjoying that. And yeah, so I work on that a little bit each night after Layla's gone to bed, when I have a few minutes. And yeah, that's basically what I've been working on recently. I did actually, since the last podcast, cast on and finish a pair of mittens, but I've left those downstairs, and if I'll just show them to you on the next podcast. I'll probably show you these projects again on the next podcast as well, so I'm not going to bother to run down and get those anyway right now. But yeah, that pretty much sums up what I've been doing lately. Got a trip to Paris to plan, got some knitting to do, all sorts of fun things. I do want to cast on another pair of vanilla socks, I think, right now. Last night I sort of sat down and sketched out, I can't draw to save my life. I just drew out in my scraggly drawing ways some ideas for a couple of upcoming designs. that I'm going to be collaborating with people on, which I'm really excited about. I have a few other things that I want to get working on. I have several designs I still need to write up. I want to cast on at least one more hat pattern soon from the New York hat collection. I kind of want to always have one of those hats on the needles so I can slowly work my way through that set. I've already done 2 of them, so I've got another 5 to go. Oh, also took some pattern photos last weekend as well. So the Changes shawl is going to be coming out next week. On the 20th of March is the release date. I have spoken with Kelsey from Primrose Yarn Company. She's the one who provided the yarn support for that design, and she will be having kits for that shawl. And she said she will send me photos as soon as she's taken them for the kits, so then I can share that with you. And she'll also be sharing that on her Instagram and stuff as well. And like I said, I'll be posting on Instagram. Instagram's the best place to keep in touch, or to follow me, to be kept up to date with sort of pattern releases and stuff, information like that. I'm most active on Instagram, really. I haven't been too active this week, but I am the most active there. And what else? I'm just trying to think what else there is to share with you guys. So we've got that coming soon. Then I've also got the cabled children's cardigan, which is going to be coming out probably towards the end of March. Again, that is also, I used yarn from Primrose Yarn Company. I do really love Kelsey's yarn. She has some beautiful colorways and some lovely, lovely bases. So those are the next 2 designs that are going to be coming out soon. The little baby bonnet hat pattern, which I showed you guys ages ago now, is coming out soon. The pattern is finished, it's ready, it's tech edited, everything's done. I just need to take photos of the bonnet on Layla, and I just haven't had a chance yet. It's hard for me to take pictures of Layla at the moment when I'm on my own. I do need a hand with that, and there's just never been an opportunity yet when I've had someone with me to be able to take pictures of her. So I'm going to try and do that in the next couple of days. And yeah, this weekend we're actually going down to Perry's parents for the weekend. It's funny because it's his dad's birthday on the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, which is why his dad's also called Patrick, funnily enough. But he's not actually going to be there. His dad's actually away for his birthday, so we're just going to go hang out with his mum, maybe go see his sister and see our little nephew. But and then on Sunday we have a 2-year-old's birthday party to go to with Layla, so she's got her first birthday party invite, which is really sweet, so we're looking forward to that. So yeah, just getting on with life, really. We will see. I'm not sure. I'm hoping I'll be able to podcast next week, because that's the other thing. In a couple of days, on Friday, is going to be my 4-year podcast anniversary, which is really exciting. So stay tuned. There might be some sort of coupon code or something for that coming up soon. And yeah, I can't believe I've been doing this for almost 4 years. Is it 4 years or 3? No, 3-year podcast anniversary. It's 4 years since I started learning to knit. So that's that. And my battery light is flashing at me, so that means I've got to go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this little chatty video, and I will be back with you guys soon. All right, take care. Bye.